Radio 103.1 FM, ale również telewizja WPNA TV. Moim olbrzymim przywilejem jest przedstawić się Państwu po raz kolejny, tym razem jako marszałka Parady 3 Maja. Przed nami Jim Mazurkiewicz. Welcome to the studio.
Dzień dobry i dziękujemy za zaproszenie dzisiaj rano.
I was close to say ambassador Mazurkiewicz, but you are a true ambassador to Poland, and I was really hoping and crossing my fingers that you become one, especially that we had a long we were so lucky we're having the ambassadors here in the studio. Mark Brzeziński was sitting here. I was talking with him. He's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
And he's my friend.
And since we met before, said, "Oh, yeah, this guy is even nicer. He's even better. He's going to be a great ambassador." And but did you really? I have to put it this way. Did you really have a chance to become an ambassador? Just give us some insights of what
Well, let
happened.
me say this. The process is that you make the application, and I did make the full application back in the first part of December. And then there was a big campaign in Texas by my alumni of the Governor Dolph Briscoe Leadership Institute, the TALL program. And it's the largest agribusiness leadership institute like this, one of the biggest in the United States, certainly in Texas. I have 500 alumni. These alumni, when they go through my program, the average age is 37. These are not students. These are bank presidents, chairman of the House Ag Committee, vice chair of appropriations in our Texas Parliament, et cetera, et cetera. Key leaders on commodity groups throughout the state. And they initiated a campaign. And there were over 60 key leaders from Texas. And several, there were leaders here from Frank Spula also was one. There were several, Pincos, Dr. Pincos from Florida. Several other people throughout the country were also working on it. And I'll say this, it did get up to the highest levels. There were also mega donors that were involved as well. And so the information leaked that my name was in consideration, and it leaked out of Washington from the American side, is what I was told. And I know it went viral throughout Poland. The name was under consideration, but let me just say this. Was I disappointed? Yes. Was I very upset about it? No. Because, let me say this, we all do this. Tom Rose was already inside the Trump administration and the previous administration under Vice President Pence. And so he was a known commodity. I'm an outsider, and maybe not, and certainly not as known and comfortable, but we generally hire or associate ourselves with people we already know and we already trust. So I can't blame him for that. But I have made this commitment. I am going to, if he would reach out to me, and I've already made this public, and I've also reached out to them, that I will certainly help him. I want him to be successful. What is important here is not necessarily the position. What's important is to continue to build the bridges and the cooperation, the collaboration that we've done for 200 years between the United States and Poland, that we continue that and even strengthen that and increase more business to business. If we can have more investment in Poland, we've got more interest to protect Poland, to be there for any time the wind blows from the east. And so my deal is, I have vowed my support to the new ambassador elect, and to help him be successful. We want him to be successful because then we have a successful Poland and a successful United States.
And you indeed have built a lot of bridges between the United States and Poland, and thank you for that. So you are a true ambassador, whatever title you have, professor or marshal of the parade, but you're just a great patriot. And I know that you have this question asked so many times, after, you're the fifth generation.
Yeah, piąte pokolenie.
Piąte pokolenie.
Tak.
Jak to jest być Polakiem piątego pokolenia? Przypomnijmy, just remind people how come the person with as a fifth of a generation Polish American can be so true.
Ja znam moi pradziadkowie, ale pra już umarły. Ale ja znałem 5 moi pradziadkowie, wszyscy dziadkowie i wszyscy mówili po polsku, jeden słowa po angielsku nie mówili. Mami, tata pierwszy język był po polsku. Tata jeszcze mówił po polsku, kiedy on umarł 3 lata temu. I kiedy razem byliśmy, po polsku rozmawialiśmy. I so ja się nauczyłem. Jestem starszego wnuczkiem, so ja musiałem po polsku mówić. So ja jestem bardzo dumny, ja jestem Polakiem i ludzie mówią, Jimuś, czemu ty czujesz, ty jest Polakiem? Ja zawsze wiedziałem, ja byłem Polakiem, ja nigdy nie wiedziałem, ja nie byłem Polakiem. So ja jestem bardzo dumny z tego i trzymamy naszą tradycję, kultura i wszystko, naszą religia i tak dalej do dzisiaj.
Here in Illinois, Chicago area especially, for everywhere you go, you Polish. People know that there are so many Polish people, and there is no surprise that you hear Polish language on the street.
Of course.
In Texas?
And the airport too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love it. When I get on a plane to go to Warsaw, they're coming from Chicago to Warsaw, Warszawa, and I just start talking to everybody on the plane because I just love it.
But it's
kids, little ones too.
But it's not the case in Texas. Even Panna Maria, the people barely speak any Polish. Obviously, there's a nice place now to visit, but there are great places in Texas. But we kind of don't think about Texas and being Polish, and the history, reminds us that okay, that's one of the biggest settlement of back in, correct me if I'm wrong, 1848?
So 1854.
54.
But they were the first large group, but they weren't the first Poles, but they're the first large organized group that created the first settlement in the United States. Pierwszy polski parafia jest w Teksasie i drugie miasto jest w Teksasie też, to jest Bandera. That's also the cowboy capital of the world. So the two oldest. But there were dwa grupy, które przyjechali do Teksasu za chlebem. Pierwsza grupa była Panna Maria grupa, oni wyjechali z Śląsk. Druga grupa przyjechali, kiedy wojna domowa skończyła, to była nasza grupa z Wielkopolska i Kujawy. Ja jestem poznański Pyra.
Ja jestem Ślązak, także uwaga.
So oba dwa wyjechali Prusi. Oba dwa grupy mówili po niemiecku i po polsku. To było ważne wtedy, oni musieli mówić po niemiecku wtedy. I kiedy moi pradziadkowie i dziadkowie się urodzili się w Teksasie, niemiecko więcej nie mówili. Wszystko było po polsku w domu, 100%. Ale po angielsku też nie uczyli. Mój pierwszy język był po angielsku. Jestem pierwsze pokolenie, które mówi po angielsku, jest mój pierwszy językiem.
A different kind of Polonia, different kind of people, obviously much more wealthier, and I don't want to say rich, but Polish millionaires we don't even think of, but among these millionaires, investors are people that you work with, and you have plans to continue working with. And coming back to the bridges that you're starting the building, how do you see this, it is new and old of the government working together and building stronger economy, stronger relationships between Poland and the United States.
Let me go back a little bit in your history here in Chicago. The first parade was 134 years ago, in 1891. And why did they do that? They
100 years anniversary.
The 100th anniversary, centennial anniversary of Maya. But Poland didn't even exist yet again. It didn't get they didn't recognize that as a holiday till 1918, after the First World War, in 1919. And so the Polonia diaspora, Polish diaspora here in the United States was so critical to World War I and II, and Solidarność i tak dalej. We have to continue to build upon those shoulders that we stand on today and strengthen that and continue to work together as one and continue our legacy for the last 200 years. It is our job, not just our Polish diaspora leaders, but all of us individually, to promote and learn our history, our joint history of supporting supporting Poland. And diaspora here is, in my opinion, still underutilized. We have 10 million people that would love to help, but they need someone to show them, to tell them, we're doing a good job. We've got a lot of great organizations, not to take away from that, but we need to communicate better to each other and work stronger together to remind the current administration or future administrations and past that we had about, especially in this particular administration, 80% of the Polish diaspora voted for this administration. They know that, though, if we don't continue to remind them of that and bring that up, things are not put to memory till you hear it 21 times. And so we need to continue to tell our story and to tell it to the non-Polish people out there in the leadership. We had some great people there last night at the Polish consulate, and our consul general here in Chicago, Regina, is doing a wonderful job. She had a first-class event last night, and bringing in non-Polish people to speak, because that's how do I say, another way to educate people by having to give a speech. They've got to do a little research, and they come in and they stand before their constituents, and they enjoyed it, and we enjoyed hearing from them.
It's very good choice that we have the new consul general and the first woman for a long time.
She's doing an excellent job.
And she has experience, over 25 years of experience. She's been around for many places. She was here a couple of weeks ago, so we had the same conversation about the relationships. And but let's go deeper into things that are really needed and that can be changed in these relationships. We talk business, culture. Okay, that's one thing. Okay,
right.
we got it covered. Okay,
Yes,
people know that. But when it comes to relationships, money, I don't want to say it should come first, but are really a strong factor. So, how is this relationships going to affect both of the countries?
Well, again, I think we have a great foundation. Our leaders have done a great job, but we need to continue to do that because there's new leaders coming all the time. And we, as the diaspora here, need to educate Congress, our state governments, and we need to continue to do that. We could, how do I say, divide and conquer, and let some of our regional organizations work on the state level, and then we've got national organizations work on the congressional, and continue to promote that. Bring in some of the new people, give them a chance to go and represent us. But we need to explain to them and communicate them, educate them on the do's and don'ts and what needs to be told, singing and talking with one voice and one particular, one direction. I think that's just common sense. And I'm not saying it's not being done, but we need to continue to do that and strengthen that and get even more people involved. Again, there's 10 million of us, and there's probably, you know, a handful of really strong organizations, but we could do even more and even better, in my opinion.
Yeah, 80 years of Polish-American Congress, of organizations even older than the Polish-American Congress. Be a member of one of them, Polish National Alliance.
I'm a member, and I've been a member of P&A with the insurance in 1955. So,
okay.
And so I'm a big, strong supporter of what Frank and those people are doing. They're doing a great job, but we got to help them. You know, we need to get out there and say, you know, it's their job. No, it's not their job. It's our job. It always says this, when the finger's pointing at one, there's four coming back at you.
True, but and that's the question, and that's the problem that everybody's seen. The organizations are getting older. You know, you have the members that are, you know, at the retirement age, which is kind of normal because you have more time to give to them. But there's always something that should attract a younger generation. Do you have any idea how to do that?
Well, let me just say this. I was just elected as the president of the Amerykański Polska Izba Handlowa w Texasie, 1st of February, 60, 70 days ago. I've been a member of that and a founding member of it for 7 years ago when we started it. We've gotten very, very active. I've turned them down for president several years ago, but finally they kept pushing me and asking me to take it, so I took it, with one exception, that you let me pick my officers. Okay. So what I did was pick 4 young guys. We've got some women too that are helping us, and I'll talk about that too. The original board members are still there, but I put in there 4 young people that are smart, have time, they don't have families yet, and then you got what I say is jeden dziadek i 4 młode wilki. Okay, and they are aggressive and they're smart. I mean, with the with the technology today, with how to do things like that, and they've got the time to do it. They're going to all be here for the parade. We've got a parade. We've got a float in the parade to promote Texas, the Polish-American Chamber of Commerce here in Texas, and you have to give them a chance. Now, you've got to educate them and kind of show them where the lines are. Because, you know, that's why we're older, we've made those mistakes, and we don't want them to make them. And it's our job to educate them, to provide them with that information.
But you have to give them a chance, because they have to learn. They have to learn, and they will not learn outside any.
You've got to let them run with it. And so, you know, they're doing right now, they've redone our website. They went ahead and worked with the parade people to do our float and all the things that went with that this time, and they would just send it to me, "Are you okay with that?" And I'm going, "Yeah, just do it, just do it." And I've got the confidence in them that they're bright enough that they can do it. And they're doing it, and they're taking some ownership. That's what we've got to do, is give them a little bit of rope.
No, the first time
That's
in
a
Chicago,
cowboy term, by the way.
first time at the parade.
Yeah.
First time at the parade with your family is going to be your first Trzeci Maja Parada tutaj?
Tak. But let me tell you, you know where my first job was when I got out of college?
The cowboy?
No. Right here in Chicago. Right here in Stare Miasta, Chicago, in the old stockyards. I worked for USDA. I was a USDA meat grader and actually worked in Chippetti's and Lincoln Meats. And then also I was shipped out because I was single at that time. I would go to Western Illinois, to Geneseo, and then they sent me to Green Bay several times. My first job was here in Chicago, and I chose to come to Chicago because I knew there was a large Polish diaspora. But I could have went to Los Angeles, New York, Texas. I chose coming here. Why? Because I knew I was Polish. I was 21 years old. And I wanted to learn more about my culture, my history and traditions, because I knew that it was very, very big here, very active. There was a lot to learn. You've got a great museum here, great organizations here. And I am so happy and so excited to be back now 48 years later.
Well, we'll find you some nice place, maybe not the back of the yards, or some nicer place up to live here in Chicago, so you can always come back if
I would love
you like
to.
us, but that's feel like home. It's obviously a privilege to be a marshal, so congratulations again.
Ja jestem bardzo dumny I bardzo zaszczycony. Ja jestem marszałką. Dziękujemy za tego.
Any special responsibilities that are upon you now, except for representing us at the parade? Obviously, all these meetings, but throughout the year, it's not like you will disappear for the next
No, sir.
years
No,
to
sir.
come.
Let me say this. We talked about the ambassador position and being president of this and president of that. You don't have to have a title to make a difference. You just have to do what you say you're going to do. And follow up and be there when someone asks you for something, and to build and continue to build those bridges. I'm very proud of the fact that I've exchanged now over 1,300 people in the last 13 years between Poland and Texas. Now that I'm in these other positions, I'm looking forward to building those bridges and expanding on that model throughout the United States.
People love you here, but people love you in Poland. Obviously, you're someone to talk about, with the hat, with the Texas accent,
and I'm a real cowboy. I mean, I've got cows, and people think, well, this is just a hat and no cattle.
No, it's not. You know how to handle that, but and because I've seen some of the numerous of interviews back in Poland, but you're probably annoyed by all these questions all about being a cowboy and about doing meat and all this stuff.
I'm just as proud of being a cowboy as I am being Polish American, Polish Texan. I tell everybody that
if we give you a horse now, you can ride it.
I can ride it. I've actually judged cattle on horseback. I've got some pictures I can share with you. I don't have a horse anymore because I don't need it. Most of my cattle, they'll come with a sack of feed, to the pens. But anyway, yeah, I grew up riding horses barefoot and bareback.
That's the only time that I had a chance to be on a horse with my babcia.
Okay.
Obviously, no saddle, no shoes, no nothing. But I didn't become a cowboy, unfortunately. And then moved to Texas. Always not too late. But being here in Chicago, being Polish, working with both the governments, having wonderful family, having so much fun. What is the most important thing for you? What is the most important thing for you in life?
First of all, is my faith and my family are the two most important things to me. The other, after that, is like someone said to me one time, and it's not something I came up with. I was born in 1955, and we don't know when the end is, but what the important is that little dash in the middle, that I make a difference. That my life make a difference on this planet. God gave me a life and gave me the opportunity to get an education, and the opportunities have been availed to me because with those leadership roles comes responsibility, and to give back and to share and lead the way and show others how and what to do. And that little space between those 2 years that will be on your gravestone, what difference did Jim Mazurkiewicz make in his lifetime? That is what keeps me up at night. And I want people to say that, you know, that he made a difference. He helped me. I get a lot of pleasure out of seeing someone successful. If I put two businesses together, or I put leadership, or helped a young person, or helped them with their education, or whatever I have done in the past, then I have one request, one payment, that one day when you're in a position like me, that you pay it back and help someone else.
Pay it forward. So
That's right.
anything on a bucket list yet? Something that you really wish happened for you, for your life, for the family, for Poland, for the United States?
Well, for my family, I just wish good health, and I'm very blessed with 3 wonderful, bright, smart kids, and a very loving, supportive wife. I couldn't have married anyone any better. We've been married 47 years, last April the 8th, and we've known each other a long time, and you know, it's a great partnership, and it is a partnership, because she might be the one that maybe not always in the front, but she's the one that's keeping me propped up, because she's taking care of the kids at home when they were being raised. She was also taking care of the farm, the house, the bills, the payments, keeping me having clean clothes every time I got in a suitcase somewhere, and just being there to hear, you know, some of the things I wanted to talk about personally. You have to have a great partner in life. But I'm very extremely proud of all 3 of my kids. They're all Aggies, and they're all successful. My oldest daughter is one of the assistant vice president at Bank of America in Dallas. Our son works at the veterinary school as a veterinary assistant at the largest vet school in the world. And our youngest daughter works in the governor's office in Austin in economic development. And so all 3 kids are successful, and all 3 of them will be here. Stefania's coming with her husband this afternoon. They will all join us tonight at this Q&A that I'm having with students tonight at 7 o'clock. And I told the kids last night, or the young students last night, I says, now make your questions hard, you know, and see if, you know, how red you can make me in the face, you know what I mean? Just, you know, just let's have a good time. Let's learn from each other.
Yeah, so let's leave all these hard questions for another interview. Thank you so much, Ambassador, Marshal, Professor, Jim. I'm honored to have you here, and please come back anytime.
So, and my babcia always called me Jimuś.
Jimuś. Thank you, Jimuś. Dziękujemy Państwu za tą rozmowę. Oczywiście na paradzie 3 maja marszałek Jim Mazurkiewicz będzie na miejscu pierwszym, ale my wszyscy mamy pierwsze miejsce i wszyscy mamy zarezerwowane miejsce na tej paradzie, która od ponad 130 lat jest najstarszą paradą w Chicago i w dalszym ciągu miejscem, gdzie wszyscy Polacy powinni się spotkać. Dziękuję bardzo. Dziękuję Państwu.